All right, serializing objects. Now, remember way back when, towards the beginning of the semester, when we started writing to files, and I talked about this way that you can write objects to a file, and it makes it nice and neat because you can then read them back as objects. Well, this is kind of how we go about doing that. When we serialize objects, we turn an object into a stream of bytes that can be easily stored into a file. So simply, we take this object and we convert it into zeros and ones. Now, here in Python, they call it pickling. And so when you want to pickle an item, you take it and you turn it into that stream of bytes. Now, in other languages, they have fun terms for them as well. One of the more common terms that we see is called dehydrating. So when you pickle something or you serialize it, it is known as dehydrating it. And then when you want to bring it back from all those zeros and ones into an object, you deserialize it, or you, what is it called here? Unpickling, or you hydrate it, right? So there's all the fun terms. We've got serialize, pickling, and dehydration. And then we have deserialize, unpickling, and hydrate, hydrate an object. So to serialize an object, we're going to import the pickle module. We're going to open a file for binary writing. Now, remember back when I was telling you about writing files? I said, oh, we'll talk eventually about binary writing files and writing binary to a file. This is what we're talking about now. So you may have to go back in your notes to see how you open a file in that binary writing mode. We're going to call the pickle.dump function, which will write that item to the file. So here it is, the dump, the object that we want to pickle and write to a file. And then we close the file. Don't forget to close the file. You're going to lose points if you forget to close the file. Make sure you close the file. Did I say it enough? Close the file. You can pickle multiple objects to one file prior to closing the file. So you can call this multiple times and then close the file. Don't close the file and then call it again. You want to dump all of your objects before you close the file. Now that you've written that to a file, you're going to eventually want to bring it back from the file. And this is known as that unpickling. You're going to retrieve pickled objects. To unpickle an object, you're going to once again import the pickle module. You're going to open that file for binary writing. In this case, I guess it would be really binary reading, but they call it binary writing. Open a file for binary writing, and then call the load function from the pickle class, right? So we're going to go ahead and say pickle load, and then from the file. And then make sure you close the file. You can unpickle multiple objects from a file. So just like you could pickle plenty of things from to the file, you can unpickle plenty of things from the file. It's really that simple. Again, make sure you go in, make sure you try it a few times. Make an object first, not just like an integer or a float. Create an actual object. And when we talk about objects, we can talk about like dictionaries and anything that is considered a set or a tuple. Take those items and go ahead and pickle them, write them to a file, and then unpickle them. So typically, this is how we store files easily. Store objects into a file easily. Those binary written files, you can't really open in a text editor and read them, but that's okay. It's not meant to do that. It's meant for a program to write and read objects rather carefully and easily. So in this chapter, we covered dictionaries, and we covered how to create them, insert, retrieve, add, delete key value pairs. The difference between a dictionary and a list is that it has a key value pair. We used for loops and we also used in and not in operators to test that dictionary. And we talked about different dictionary methods, including the ability to do those comprehensions. We also did sets. We created sets. We added elements to and remove from the sets. We found the differences, the unions, the intersections, the symmetric differences. We found what a subset and a superset is. And then finally, we finished the chapter off with pickling and unpickling objects. So take your time, go through the examples, make sure you do the assessments, make sure you do the assignments as well. And if you have any questions, shoot me a question and I will get back with you. Thanks for coming and watching Chapter 9.